Okay, so you see this happening, all right? There it is. They just push the guy down, talk trash to him, and leave. I mean, that is textbook gang activity, okay? They run up on a guy, knock him down, talk trash. Okay, now we can go. Let me give you some background to this. This is in Des Moines, all right? Never before seen video, but we know this came from 2020. The Court Avenue District Security camera shows 3 Des Moines police officers dressed in riot gear crossing Court Avenue near 4th Street. They approach a man who was walking west on Court Avenue. They grab him, turn him around, then push him to the pavement. The officers pick up something, possibly his cell phone. And then everyone walks away, okay? Thugs, all right? Harvey Harrison, founder of the Des Moines Social Justice Group, said it's not okay. Let me give you some background. He said it's not okay for anybody, including Des Moines police officers in full military uniform, what appears to be militarized garb, to come up, knock a person down on the street and apparently pick up their cell phone, which what it appears they did. But in their pocket, put it in their pocket and walk away, that's not okay. And I agree with that local activist. He said he is not sure who the man in the video is. And he's not sure why someone waited until now to hand over the video. But he wants police to investigate to determine whether or not their officers acted appropriately or not under the circumstances and within the framework of their own rules, Harrison said. Now, we know good and damn well what you just saw is not part of any protocol, okay? Here's what the cops will do. They will say things like, we're launching an official investigation. We're going to see all of the details before we make a decision. There's no way, there's no new information that would justify what you saw in that video. Let's put up a picture of the chief, since we cannot identify these cops and we are not able to identify the victim. We do hope he comes forward. In a statement to KCCI, Des Moines Police Chief Dana Wingert said the video was observed on social media and an investigation was immediately initiated. That's what he said. The chief also said our policy on conduct is very clear, and compliance in this regard would be the focus of our investigation. The Just Voices Iowa nonprofit group also wants Des Moines police to study their overall response during the 2020 protests. There is no question in my mind that the Black community in Des Moines is targeted and is disproportionately impacted by police actions. That has to change, Harrison said. The Just Voices Iowa group said it has additional videos and is seeking more videos showing Des Moines police activities with the idea to encourage police to do a deeper investigation into what happened in 2020. You know more videos do exist, okay? Here's what we know for sure: when things like this happen, they never happen in a silo. They're part of a culture. Now, yes, the police chief can cite policy all day. He could say, we're looking into this and compliance is going to be the #1 issue. Compliance and policy is not your #1 issue, chief, it's culture. And while you're still talking reform, I'm talking replacement. See, once a culture gets so corrupt and so rotten, there is no policy that can correct it, not en masse. You now have to transfer individuals because the people are so rotten they cannot be transformed. That's where you're at in Des Moines. My brother, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if you're able to cue the B-roll again, Craig, no worries if you can't. But the thing that I saw that really highlights what you're saying, Dr. Rashad, is that there needs to be a culture of policing that should be better. Thank you. Because you see the 3 cops approach the guy, but you see, I don't know, maybe it's a cop or a paramedic or whoever, stand back and watch. I want that guy punished too, because in order to address this culture of policing that you have right here, we need to have officers who, when they see something, they say something. They say, hey, listen, I don't care that we like work together. We're supposed to uphold this like police force. We have to maintain respect in the police force. I don't like seeing that because that makes my job harder. If that officer has, if a good faith police officer has to go into a black neighborhood and like solve crime and like ask questions or whatever, we're not gonna be telling him anything because they have this culture of the police don't trust and care about us. They're just a gang essentially. And video example evidence, when you have video evidence like this and the response of the police chief saying, we're gonna review the evidence and then talk about it for 6 months, then give you an answer, shows people what they need to know with who the police stand for. They're for protecting themselves, not the public.
There's one expression that came directly from the Black Lives Matter movement, and that was duty to intervene, duty to report. Now you have laws throughout states that say cops have a duty to intervene and a duty to report. And if they do not, when they see a fellow officer doing something illegal, they too can be charged. Well, we have to start not only implementing those laws nationwide, but we also have to make sure they are properly enforced so that the culture can start transforming.